Welcome to the Outlier Betting Strategy Series. I'm Dave Golikov. Today we're talking about knowing the house rules. This is quite important as the growth of player props has been massive, and everybody loves to bet these. And you now have to really pay attention to what the house rules are across pretty much every sport, so that you're not caught having a result that you are not expecting. Now, first thing that you should know is that if you've been betting any of these and you haven't, checked in with the house rules, the most popular thing on Twitter nowadays is asking for a player void. You bet on a game, you bet on a prop, the guy goes down on the first snap or a quarter or whatever, and just go to the Sportsbooks Twitter page and you'll see everybody begging for a void. So listen, it's part of the game. I wouldn't be the one who's asking for a void, because for every person who has Nick Chubb over or anytime touchdown, there's somebody who has under. So I don't think these are really fair. But what you can do is to really know the house rules and protect yourself just in case. So we have a full article on this on the outlier.bet intelligence blog. So make sure you go there and check it out. And today we're just going to talk about the different sports and some of the things that you need to keep an eye on, so that you're not caught in a situation where you're left with a result that's not unexpected. So NFL and football in general, you want to know what are the rules if a player is active, inactive. Active is obvious, but inactive, if a player, starts, doesn't start, right? Like there's different sports books have different rules. And so here is just a small snapshot that I've taken is, DraftKings, the player must play one snap. So if you have Nick Chubb, to go over and he gets hurt, if he's played a snap at DraftKings, your bet is action. So that's simply it. Now, if he gets hurt in warmups, you're fine, right? Now, you take a look at FanDuel, it looks a little bit different, right? So here you start to get into some gray area. So at FanDuel, for player prop mark, any bets on a player who is listed as inactive on NFL.com will be voided. Okay, obvious. But so here you can see the difference is that player might be active, gets hurt in warmups, or whatever. Let's say somebody's questionable all week, goes through warmups, is active, looks like they're going to play, and then the team just holds them out, right? So in these two situations, on one sports book, your props will be good, will be action, and the other one they won't be. So you have to really keep an eye on this. And then you can see, again, win is similar to DraftKings. There's so many sports books out there. They're all going to have different rules. So it's really going to depend on where you're betting, and you want to double check. Now, baseball is another one, right? Of course, you're going to do some research. You come to Outlier, like, okay, looking at these insights, these look like some good props. You go bet it. Well, with baseball, you have to know, okay, is it if the guy starts that the prop is action, or is it if he just gets one at bat? Let's say you bet on, somebody to get over 0.5 bases, right? What happens if that player doesn't start? Is the bet void, or is the bet still action? If he comes in as a pinch hitter, right? You might have somebody like, like I said, Bryce, or like it's written here, Bryce Harper, doesn't get the start for whatever reason. They bring him in off the bench on his day off to hit. To pinch hit. He comes in at one sports book, your bet might be action, and another it's not. So you need to know those different situations. In basketball, what you're looking for is, typically it's a little bit simpler. It's either the guy's going to play or not, but load management does make this tricky, right? Load management, though, it's not like baseball where the guy's still going to come in later. It's the guy's going to, play or not play. So it's a little bit more black and white. Sometimes, though, I have seen, if a player's thrown out early, I mean, sportsbooks don't typically have a minute's, anything. It's more if the guy is active. You might see something like, will a player start? Right? If a player starts or not, if somebody comes off the bench, you might have some gray areas. So you got to keep an eye out for that. Tennis is a tricky one. Now, tennis, there are different rules across the board. There are um, there's player retirements. There are suspensions, right? Like darkness at Wimbledon, or weather at some other open door, tournament. So what happens if the match is suspended? Is your bet still action, or is it not? Same goes with the retirement. Now this becomes tricky because some sports books will say, okay, they've played a set, that's good enough. Some will say there's a games limit, 10 games, whatever. Then it's action. Others will say, no, you know what? They had to complete the match. So you could get caught in all these different situations with tennis. So really recommend you keep an eye on those. And lastly, we'll jump into soccer here. Soccer, you know, a big key is similar to baseball. Is the guy starting or coming off the bench? We've seen in, let's talk about World Cup, where there's a lot of stars on a team, right? And you pick somebody who is actually you thought was going to start, but he's instead coming off the bench. And one sportsbook might say, yep, that's good enough. He came in the 90th minute and played for a couple minutes. Your bet is action. Other sportsbooks might say, no, he had to start the game. And if he didn't start, your bet is not action. So these are some of the rules that we just wanted to run you through. Everyone loves betting these same game, or sorry, these player props. And it's a lot of fun. Sharps find really good edges on them. Recreational players really enjoy them. But remember to know the house rules so that you're not caught on the wrong side of these. Two last things we'll go over. So obviously, if you want to protect yourself from a lot of this stuff, the tennis ones is hard when it's injuries or weather or darkness and stuff like that. But what you can do in, say, a sport like baseball is wait till the starting lineups come out. In basketball, you can wait till the starting lineups come out. NFL, if you're in that questionable situation where somebody warms up and looks good to go and then gets pulled, it's hard. But again, you can look for active and try to cover yourself so that you're betting these and knowing and sort of eliminating some of that gray area if you can. It's kind of tough because sometimes early in the week you see a line, you want to hit it before everybody else does. So you might just end up with a void or whatever the situation may be. The other thing I mentioned, same game parlays, thought came to my head. You should know these rules for same game parlays and parlays in general. Some sports books with same game parlays, if a player pulls out, they then will void the whole same game parlay. Others will just drop it down a leg. And don't be disappointed if you win the rest and the guy pulls out or whatever and they void the parlay. It's kind of annoying. Hopefully in the future, all books, or I think what most books should do is just drop it down a leg and the rest goes. But these are the different rules that you have to be aware of. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully it helps and hopefully it triggers for you to keep an eye on these sorts of things so you're not disappointed later and you're well informed. That's all we try to do on this channel. Keep you up to speed, keep you educated, and try to help you win. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon.